10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Like this. Baby, you a heart stopper.
Woke up in my city, yeah, I feel like Big Papa. I feel like Big Papa.
Nah, you gotta go like this, and like this. Baby, you a heart stopper.
Woke up in my city.
10, 9, 8.
Let's just say hello to everyone. Hello, and welcome to yet another episode of W.A.G.E. I'm your host, Sheila Montague, and today I'm going to be co-hosting with the one and only Io Peterson. So we have a really great show. Tonight. And in a few moments, we're about to begin. So just get your popcorn, get your drinks, and let's get ready to start the show. Okay. Io had to step away for one moment. She'll be right back. There she is. So this evening, what we're going to be talking about, and we've been trying to get this show together since last week, and we're still on it, right? So the title is what happens to our youth when we as a community, as a society, turns a blind eye. So tonight we're going to be talking with, hopefully, she was on with us earlier, but she's trying to get her Wi-Fi situation straightened out. And that even leads to yet another issue that many of us have difficulty even being plugged into mainstream news or activities because of the lack of Wi-Fi that people have in our community. So with that being said, I want to tell you why we're doing this show tonight. If you will, just humor me for a minute. One reason is because I really think that people forget about how important the youth is. I think that people forget about what it is that we need to or could be doing in our community to raise a level of consciousness, to raise a greater level of awareness, and to just be more inclusive in what is going on instead of always pointing the finger of blame. That happens when too many things are coming at us all at once, and we have our regular normal stresses, right? Work, job, same thing, kids, family, what have you. So how do we manage that, right? How do we balance that out with making sure that our kids are good in society and not just simply in our house, not just simply me and mine, us and ours, right? Mm-hmm. So that's what Io is here and we're going to talk a little bit about that. Let me bring her back onto the screen. So before we even get started, I want to share something with you that I shared on my Facebook page today. Every day when I share stuff, I share every single thing for a reason, because I want us to either be in thought, be engaging in thought, or to at least be thinking about how any particular thing is being thought about. That was a lot of thinking, I know, but you guys take it slow. You can catch it. Okay, so I just want to go to share my page for a second, guys. So bear with me. Let's see if I can share my screen. Guys, just be patient with me. Let's see what I could get done here. Window, Chrome tab. Okay, let's see. Yeah, here it is, guys. Okay.
Owners are African Americans of the world leaders. Whatever you do, the whole world wants to follow you. You're trendsetters. The most I put that spirit of influence in you. That's why other people want to be like you. You guys come from the house of David, the tribe of Judah. You come from a royal lineage, the most important royal family in the world.
Okay, we're gonna stop right there because that's the part I really wanted to get into. The tribe of Judah. The house of, what was that again?
It's the nation of Israel, the tribe of Judah, basically.
Thank you. that little blurb was really important, and in fact, it was so important years ago. I don't know if you remember, Io. We did an entire show on
Yeah,
just
I remember
that.
that.
Um,
Yes.
and it was so amazing. But like I said, like people are not paying attention until something happens, and then you hear something like that, and you'll probably disregard it because you can't really associate it most times with something that you already know. But it's very vital, it's very essential, and it's something that we need to know and we need to talk about. And that's why we have Miss Io Peterson here today to break it all down like a slick ship for us. So, Io, what can you tell us about what is he talking about for the people who don't know?
Okay. It's a lot. Basically, I learned, I want to say 15, 16 years ago that the indigenous Black Americans are actually the lost tribe of Israel, or better yet, the lost nation of Israel, the tribe of Judah. For the most part, not everyone, in this nation, or not every indigenous Black American is from the tribe of Judah, but for the most part, we are the nation of Israel, the tribe of Judah. That explains why we go through what we go through, because it's something that the entire world knows, but we've been miseducated so that we're the only ones that don't know what's going on. So therefore, we were given the law to follow, and because we're not following the law, we are suffering the consequences of that. Basically, the place that we're in is because of ignorance, and that's by design. Like, we were during slavery times, we were barred from learning how to read because the powers that should not be did not want us to read the Bible. They did not want us to know who we were. They did not want us to associate ourselves with the children of Israel, basically. So a lot of things that were, in fact, I ascribe like the entire COVID scamdemic, um, the prison industrial complex, all of that has to do with making sure that we never wake up to who we are. So we are always fighting distractions. We're always in survival mode. As
Right.
long as we don't wake up, then the rest of the world can continue to eat off of us, basically.
And see, that's why this show tonight is so important. And like I said, our guest was on. I don't want to introduce her until she gets back on, but she's trying to get
Mhm.
into McDonald's or Dunkin' Donuts somewhere to find some Wi-Fi that's working accurately. And so the thing is, right, because we don't know who we are, we lead the lives from being a child to an adult, whereas
Mhm.
we're either A, accusing somebody else that's not the perpetrator of the situation, or even maybe worse, accusing ourselves,
Right.
being mean to ourselves, saying, I made these decisions. No, it's no one else to
Mhm.
blame, but there is someone else to blame. There is something else to blame, right? And whether that
Right.
something else is colonialism, or whether that something else is something else that is layered that we can discuss and break down and unpack tonight, that something
Right.
still exists. So with that being said, just back to your point of the prison industrial system, the person that I'm bringing on, really, she's a young lady, and I want to talk about that a little bit because she's a young lady who she played on my basketball team many years ago. Outstanding player, 30 points a game, and I'm talking about in the fourth grade.
That's good.
Literally in the fourth grade. I mean, she was amazing. She was a great student. She had really great grades, honor roll, and but she didn't have the foundation she needed to achieve the success that she could have, should have, achieved had she had
Right.
more support, right? And so when I hear people saying things like, "Oh, well, where's their family?" or
Mhm.
I'm looking out for me and mine. That is so inherently not the perspective that we need to be
Right.
utilizing to move forward, right? And we talk about Newark forward a lot. That's a phrase that gets passed around, and we talk about organizing a lot. Another phrase that gets passed around
Mhm.
when the organizing that many politicians are actually partaking in now comes from the organizing that was done in a previous generation to us. Am I saying that correctly?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. There were
yeah,
several previous generations.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So for those of us who don't have the support, or those of us who are not who the school didn't support us, and maybe for different
Right.
ways. Maybe some people didn't come to school regularly, or it could be
Mhm.
a plethora of reasons, but it
Mhm.
still exists that there are
Right.
many reasons why we're not being more successful. And then you hear this young man say how that people look up to us. And I know this. People look up
Mhm.
to everything that we do. I personally see on a local level, many of the things that we discuss here, IO,
Mhm.
definitely gets utilized. It's like we are like covert council people, you know what I mean? And so you don't have to steal the ideas. Like we always came forward to give them freely. So
Right.
that's
Right.
what's ironic to me. But
No, they didn't want the ideas. That's what it was. They didn't
yeah,
want
I
it
don't
from
think
us.
they wanted
So
them from us, IO.
yeah, that's what it was. They didn't want it from us. That's what it
Yeah.
is.
But
But yeah.
at any rate, we still have young people who are matriculating from young adulthood into
Mhm.
adulthood without the tools that they need to be successful or reach their potential. So how do we do that, right? We have to start putting names to faces. We've seen articles where there has been so many people, young people who've died, and you hear the young people, you get two blurbs, two sentences, basically. A young person shot and killed last night, investigation pending.
Mhm.
And that's insane. Like, who is this person? Could we get a name? Because nobody cares about that. But when
They don't
people are
even say
dying,
person. They if it's with us, they're trying to demonize us. So they'll usually say young black male. They'll always, you know what I'm saying? They'll use dog whistle terms to demonize us
right, right.
for no reason. Like
Absolutely.
I would prefer if they did say young person, or you know what I mean, left it a little vague, but they always have their dog whistle terms
Always. And
that
it's
are
to
used
make
to
people generally not care. And so when we
right.
see a council that seemingly looks like they don't care either. And I don't want to point the blame, because I had already made my decision that I said I'm going to try to be as supportive of the council that I can be. I'm going to be honest,
Mhm.
I don't have a lot of confidence that they're going to like do this great job. I don't, but I want to be fair that I give them a chance because they just got in. And
Right.
what I see is that I see people talking about parties. I see people talking about different events,
Mhm.
movies. I see people having conversations. The legislative people in our community are having
Mhm.
conversations about certain things, and those conversations are not in. They're not incorporating what's going to be done for the crime that's occurring. And so you have like, which is probably one of the top major issue, which is those people that gentleman was talking about. I'm going to play that clip again. That
Okay.
those people, right? That
Mhm.
gentleman was talking about falling, falling to the wayside, and no one's talking about it.
That's by
We
design.
It's by design. And it's like, okay, so when we do get leadership in that should be supporting what it is that we're doing, of what it is we stand for, representative of what it is that we stand for, why
Mhm.
don't we have those voices? And the community knows, people knows. And when I'm talking about the community, I'm talking not just talking about locally, I'm talking about in, again, Detroit, Chicago, Trenton, like you name it, like everywhere
Right.
that is the urban area, these same events are taking place, from gentrification, every single issue. And I could run the gamut. But the point is this: I want to stay focused on the young people and why we need to not turn a blind eye to them, why it is that we need to help them. And I want to just show you this clip once more, guys. So again, bear with me because it's very essential to the discussion this evening. Thank you for joining me. And if you haven't already, please feel free to share the live, because we want as many people as possible to be a part of what it is that we're talking. I think I deleted it already. Oh, sorry guys, I exited out already, but I played it earlier so you guys will be able to get a chance to view it earlier in this particular show. And if you haven't, you can view it on my Facebook page as well. But basically, it's just talking about where we're from, right? And why that's so essential, because if young people think they're not a part of something greater than themselves, right? They're gonna have low self-esteem. And
Right.
ignorance that Ayo spoke about earlier, that's where that comes from. Having that low self-esteem, not being able to attribute yourself to anything other than a loser. Anything other than
Right.
just black, or you just have a history of being a slave, which we are so much greater than that small segment of what took place, and it's never talked about. However, upon the recent death of Queen Elizabeth, I see that the
Mhm.
conversation has really sprung back to life. I don't know if you want to share your thoughts on that at all, at
You
any
know what?
aspect.
You said something that made me remember something that happened in my own family. It's the sense of feeling something greater than yourself, taking pride in who you are. And in my family in 2016, I learned that my family was a part of the descendants of the Georgetown 272, right? And basically, what happened is in 1838, Georgetown University was losing money and they were almost bankrupt. And so, what they did was they had a plantation of slaves that they sold down to Louisiana. And from Louisiana, they sold the slaves to, I think, three different plantations in Louisiana. Well, my family was basically sent to a plantation in Mangrum, Louisiana. And the reason I bring that up is because once we didn't know where my great grandmother's family, how they got to Louisiana, basically. So once we found that out and we found out who we were, it gave like the elders in my family a sense of pride because they finally knew something about their history, right? And there's another side to this story. When my mother was younger, she was born in New Orleans, Louisiana. She always had this sense of, this isn't my home. I need to be living someplace with four seasons. So when she was a young woman, she was like 18 years old. She moved to DC and went to college there, right? And I was born in 1973 in DC. And like I said, we found out back in 2016 that that's where my family's from. So it's like a genetic memory type of thing where my mother had this desire to move to DC, and she found out that that's where her ancestors are from, basically. Another thing I've learned, I want to say in the past 10, 15 years, is that, like I said, we're the children of Israel. But the other thing that I learned is that we are indigenous to America, meaning that you can trace your history back as far as you want to, but it'll never leave the shores of America. And if it does leave the shores of America, it will probably still be within the Americas. And what's happening is people are finding out, like, okay, I do have a lot of my ancestors from the Americas, but I also have ancestors from other lands. And those other lands usually are in Europe and not in Africa, like we were taught. So we've been lied to basically about everything, and we need to go back like children and basically, wipe the slate clean and relearn our history and our heritage and who we are and our spirituality and our spiritual systems, because what's going on now is because we've been lied to about everything, we've been so brainwashed, we're almost conciliatory with the what I want to say, like the self-hate. Like we almost blame ourselves for everything unnecessarily. Like there could be an issue and then somebody will make a comment like, oh, black people, or it always has to be black people, and it's like nobody even said that, but people will sometimes automatically, without thinking, just take responsibility for other people's actions or other people's wrongdoings, and we have to stop that. I can't hear you, Sheila. Your mic is off.
Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize for that. And what you were saying, I was just saying that you're absolutely right. You're absolutely on target with your discussion in terms of the spirituality and everything else. Because
Mhm.
even in talking to some of the young people, they may have never picked up a Bible, but
Right.
it's an innate,
It's in them. Right.
and it shows, like the young lady that's coming on with us tonight. If she gets her Wi-Fi together, and I'm hoping that she will, because she really wants to share her story, and
Mhm.
a lot that she talks about is related to spiritual warfare.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So listen,
Right.
guys, I'm gonna pull up a picture of her before I even bring her on, because she's trying to get on right now, just so that you can see who we're gonna be interviewing. tonight as soon as she can get everything, straightened out and situated. Okay. Last week, you may have remembered seeing this young lady in RLS. And on September the 1st, the date is actually right here. And it read Newark woman arrested in 2021. Mind you, guys, it's 2022 for a Wayne robbery. Once again, she was arrested for a Wayne robbery, a robbery that took place in Wayne. And it read, police in Wayne took a woman into custody and charged her with a robbery that occurred in 2021. Police said on December the 30th of that year, Wayne patrol officers responded to Ski Barn on Route 23 for a reported robbery in which the suspects assaulted an employee in the store. And it goes on and on. It's on RLS Media. You guys can, check it out for yourself. It gives details upon details, right? But so why is this story so important, right? We've seen robberies all the time. Why is this so important? The reason why this is important is because, number one, RLS tells a lot of lies, right? RLS tells a lot of lies, and I don't know why that is. And they do tell some truths. Like, I'm not trying to totally throw the baby out with the bathwater, but what I am saying that they have been disingenuous in terms of the delivery of news, so they pick and choose what they want to put on. And for whatever reason, this robbery, this whole situation occurred long before now. And this young lady was arrested for it long before now. I have no idea why they just threw it up recently, but I definitely have a platform that I wanted to share with her to allow her the opportunity. So I'm going to see if we could bring her on yet. Okay. So, hello. I just want to introduce everybody. So, Shivani, you're going to have to turn your feed off. Okay. Hello, Shivani. I just want to introduce everybody. Hi, Shivani. Your feed off.
Turn my feed off.
Okay. Hello, Shivani.
Hello, everyone.
Wait, you got to turn it off. It's giving feedback.
Turn my feed off.
Okay. I hear it. Maybe somebody else has.
No, I can.
Somebody else may have it on.
No, Miss Matthew, is that look, Miss Matthew, is that turn yours off? No, is that Miss T? She connected too, and
that's what it is.
She about to turn it off.
Okay. So Shivani, listen, I just want to say thank you and welcome to the show. Welcome to W.A.G.E. Welcome to W.A.G.E. We know that, like I said, RLS published a news article about you. So I guess we'll just start there. Do you want to tell us something about that article first, and then we'll go into the rest of the show?
Well, I don't know. Like I said, I thought I was trying to see how you call it, defamation of character, because at the end of the day, all right, they locked me up that charge like 3 weeks ago. They seized my car. They sent me to jail, whatever the case may be. Like I said, but they pulled me over for something totally different. The warrant popped up or whatever. Supposedly, in Wayne, it wasn't a robbery. It was an actual shoplifting charge that turned into a robbery because the loss prevention man that works in the mall, instead I stole a $225 jacket out of Macy's. Before I walked out the store and the man caught me with the jacket, I gave him the jacket back in the store. I know in the store, if you give them back, they let you go or they would call police. All right, back. The man, I was man everything telling them that I'm pregnant and everything. I pulled out my taser and I pulled out. They charged me robbery for, but I also got away, and they had the license. Never knew that I kind of figured that like something was like gonna be done because I know I was on camera or whatever the case may be. But this is the thing. Why do y'all got me up there when I copped out to probation already? Probation just called me today. So I'm not understanding this. Y'all like posted something as if I'm wanted right now when I'm sentenced to probation, which is, and they transferred it also to North because that's Middlesex County, Wayne. I was banned from Menlo Park Mall, Macy's, but I just don't think it's fair. And
right. Right, because it was old, it had happened, and we don't know why RLS did that. And definitely we want to continue our investigation to make sure that we found out. But I do want you, Shivani, to introduce yourself to the audience, and tell a little bit about your story. Now, I want to just let you guys know who Shivani is to me, right? Shivani is like my absolute heart, and Shivani played ball under my tutelage for several years, like literally like probably 5, and she started in the 4th grade. And Shivani, I told them earlier, you were scoring 30 points a game in the 4th grade. Years, like literally like 5. Literally. And like Shivani had wonderful grades, really smart. You can hear that from her now. And I'm telling them because it's the truth. And I mean, this is a young lady who is very smart about her grades, always had her homework in. And my question is, like, when the name of the show, and Shivani, you got to turn that feed off. Whoever has their because it's the feedback is coming in, so they got to turn it off. The name of the show, and Shivani, you got to turn that feed off.
Nah, she did. She turned it off again.
Okay. So like I was saying, Shivani is very, very smart, very, very intelligent. She was on honor roll in the 4th grade, scoring 30 points a game, 4th grade, had the potential to do so many, just a great many things. But again, this is why this show is so important. When we turn a blind eye to our youth, instead of helping them, being there for them, right? Just giving them the support that they need to succeed, like different things happen. And Shivani, with that being said, I want you to just jump in and tell them a little bit about your story and, you know, what's going on with you. From just being a young person, let's start from being a young person. Where did you see the path like taking a different turn? Yeah, I can hear you. I'm still here. So again, like I said earlier, even though Wi-Fi is a situation, like,
start from the beginning.
Yeah, like as a child, like, you know, you, like I said, you did so good in basketball, 30 points a game. We're talking about athletic to the max in the 4th grade, great grades. Like, where did that change? At what point did that change? Okay, guys, I appreciate your patience. Like I said, it's probably Wi-Fi issues. She's trying to get her Wi-Fi situated. Yeah, buffering issue. So if she comes back, I'm gonna add her back to the feed again. I'm gonna add Ayo back. Ayo, I don't know if you got a chance. Yeah, we're here. And she has some issues with her Wi-Fi, so she's getting that situated. Ayo, I don't know if you was able to hear a little bit of that.
I heard it. I heard it all.
Yeah.
Oh, well, the part that we could hear.
Yeah. Shivani, are you there? She's trying to get back on.
You can hear me now, Ms. Mazio?
Yeah, I can hear you.
This line is bad. What'd she say, Missy? Huh?
Shivani, we're waiting for you.
Wait, Miss. How about now?
I can hear you.
Mm-hmm.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. So you basically told me, she said tell them a little bit about my story, right?
Yeah, please.
Hey. Oh, like from childhood.
Yeah.
Well, so all right. 7 children out of 7 children, like sheep. I got 4 older brothers and I got 2 younger siblings, which is that in total is 7 of us. 5 boys and 2 girls. I got 1 older brother that work in the White House. My second oldest brother driving New Jersey Transit buses. My third oldest brother, that's the one I looked to and played basketball with, and he live in Cali and he built highways. Then it's me. Then it's my younger sister that just got married. She live in Perth Amboy. She armed security, whatever, etc. Then it's my younger brother. He just started working at the mall or whatever. Like I said, everybody's kind of like stabled, and everybody is stabled and kind of financially stabled also, except for the black sheep. Okay. From beginning, whatever, like
Shivani, the sound is going down. We can't hear you.
Took the girls or whatever the case. Like I said, I just told y'all
Shivani,
like
Shivani, go back. We
how my
missed
other
all of that.
siblings like.
We missed all of that.
You missed it?
Yeah, it froze.
I I said all right, what part did you miss?
You left off on everybody's stable except for the black sheep. That's the last thing we heard.
Mm-hmm.
All right, on the with the black sheep. All right, like I said, but y'all the black sheep. I told you heard the part where I said my brother worked in the White House?
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
Say it again, I can't hear you. Oh, all right, everybody is stable except the black sheep, which is me. But all right, like like I didn't have to go the way that I went. I didn't have to go towards the left. I could have went towards the right. I could, like Miss Monty, you said, I could have been in the WNBA straight out of high school, fresh. But I chose to be a gang member. I chose to be in the streets to sell drugs. I chose to I chose to just live the street life, period. And honestly, now I'm 34 now. I I've been going to jail since from the age of 18 to exactly 28. From 18 to 28. My 30s, I said I was going to try and change and be like more different and like try to change my life. 2 years ago, something tragic, which was my mom and my oldest daughter. Me not knowing that I was sacrificing my two little babies' lives trying to save my oldest daughter, which is a senior this year in high school, which is in high school called Colonial School, exit 135, Clark, New Jersey. I didn't know I was sacrificing my two babies trying to save her life from the streets. So her and my mother ganged up on me and called police and diapers on me and told them everything I was doing. And they took my two little babies from me, which is my 6-year-old and my 2-year-old little baby. Now, like I said, I've been fighting for 2 years to get them back. Middlesex County diapers or whatever. They want me to do
Right.
substance abuse programs. They want me to give clean urines. They want me to do everything they want me to do. I actually been compliant. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. In the beginning, I never 34 years of my life I never felt what depression felt like ever in my life ever.
Mm-hmm.
I never felt what depression felt like until my two babies was taken away from me, which was kind of, I look at it now, it was a curse and a gift at the same time, because who would to say that I would try to get myself together or whatever the case may be. But like it's just I don't know. Like right now I'm at a place in my life where I know if I don't believe in myself, ain't nobody else gonna believe in me. If I don't get the job done, ain't nobody else gonna get the job done. And God already opened my eyes to that everything, that whatever I want, I have to go get. Just like I put all that negative energy into, just like I put all that extra energy into the negative, I could put all that energy into something positive. And I know I'm smart. I know I could do a lot of things. I know I can. And when I mean, like, I got a hustler's ambition, I can get money in all aspects, not just selling drugs, selling T-shirts, selling food. I know I can do anything in this world, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. But I'm gonna say something to y'all that I tell a lot of people this. It's embarrassed to me to tell people I got family. Why is that? Because I never in a million years thought my babies, like my life would ever have to go in the system, even if something happened. Why? Because my whole stable. Now, the way my family is, and it is what it is, and I hope some of them probably up here looking and listening too. They're so one-sided. Like, somebody could, just because I was the black sheep, anybody could come to them and tell them anything and they'll believe it. They act first. They'll come at me instead of asking me.
Right.
You get where I'm coming from. So it's
Yeah.
like
Mm-hmm.
when you be like, oh, I don't need nobody. Somebody really needs somebody. Like, let's be real, for real. And I know
Right.
I need somebody, but I really don't need nobody for real. Because at the end of the day, I done got it out the mud. I done fell at least like 30 times, and I swear to God, it don't take me no longer than a day to get right back up and get back where I was at. And I mean it.
Right.
I'm
So
saying now today, I'm just more. My willpower is like a lot. Can't nobody disturb my peace now today. Well, I'm lying because I'm still a work in progress because I let somebody disturb my peace earlier today and brought me out my character. But like I said, but I'm learning like way more, like way more, like about about like life and about the universe and about like what me and Miss Montague was talking about amongst each other, that spiritual warfare where the youth it's hard for them to differentiate because they don't know nothing about it at all, and it's a fact. Like everything that's really wrong is really right for real. Like I don't know.
Wow. That's dope. So let me say a couple of things, right? So I want to go back to the
But
beginning.
wait. But
Yeah, go
why
ahead.
won't Roz Baraka help me with a job? Or guess what? I went to 1091. I went to City Hall. All I keep doing is giving me the running around, bouncing me around. Give me a job at HelloFresh. Throw me in there or throw me in sanitation. I know how to lift garbage.
Oh goodness.
That's a good question. I know he watches the show, so maybe he'll respond. But
He
I
know
want to go.
he know who I am. I played basketball for his brother Mid. I played basketball for his sister. I played for him before. He know who I am. We go all the way back, way back. Yeah, way back. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sheila is
So Rob
shocked.
Baraka, if you is watching, make sure you hit me in my DM for real. Again. But anyway.
You say again.
You know I don't speak nothing but facts. That's it. All facts. All facts. Miss Montague, I just saw.
I'm gonna go back to my original question.
Guess what I just said, Miss Montague. Guess what I said to? I just seen Troy. I said, yeah, we about to do a podcast. You should join.
That's my peoples. That's my peoples. But Shivani, look, I want to go back to something you said earlier, and I want to go back to this for the audience. We were just talking about how the young people start off one way, right? And when they become adults, they start blaming themselves, saying, "Oh, I should have did this and I should have did that." Ayo, what? I'm going to start with you. What is your feedback to her? We were just talking about that.
Well, she said a lot of interesting things. And you had asked her a question, you know, like what led you to this life? And I want to know that too, because when you were speaking, you said that you chose to do this, but what made you make that decision?
Yeah.
Like what was going on in your life where you're like, you know what? I don't want to do that over there. I want to do, you know, the gangster thing and sell the drugs. What was it in your life that was like, I want it, that's the right route.
And after she answers, I'm gonna have a response because as an adult, I saw things from a different point of view. So
okay, got you.
What led me to that was because, like I said, when something happened to my mother. My mother and father was drug addicted my whole life. My mother, I told you, my when the Dyfus case kicked off, and me and my sister, we was with my mom's mom. That was on 3rd Street, down the street from the school that Miss Montague, where I met Miss Montague at Dr. Emma Flag School. My mother had one of the bones in her neck collapsed. Once the bone in her neck collapsed, it was like being as though everybody. My mother also was the black sheep too, because she always got high. Everybody looked down on her too. So it was like once my mother was in the hospital because the bone collapsed in her neck and she almost died from shooting up the IV, the heroin from using the needle. I ran away. When I ran away, that's when everything kicked off. I ran away.
Okay, that makes sense.
My environment came and got me. Boom. I just decided they gave me first lady. They gave me the first lady at Grape Street, and first lady means I'm the one that tell people what to do. I'm not taking that you telling me what to do. So I took that offer, and it was just like, and not even saying I was lost looking for. I also still deal with like abandonment issues. That's what it all came from. It stems from my mother going to the hospital from the rip, and she ended up staying in the hospital for like at least 9 months. And I ran away from my grandmother. That's when everything kicked off. I stopped playing basketball. I started smoking weed. Got pregnant. Stopped going to school. And this all was like in 11th grade Barringer because I went to University High School first. So my sophomore year, I played and got kicked out over a basketball game with a boy. Ended up going to Barringer. That's when all I kicked off with my mom. And like I said, and if no one didn't know, I always took care of my mom because they always treated my mom like the outcast because she got high. And my Uncle Mike and my Uncle Cedric never got high. So they always treated her like the outcast. And That's what brought me and my mother like this. But now, like to this day, like the relationship is still the same, but she know is not as strong as it was. In order for me to like unblock my blessings, like I tell everybody, I had to forgive my mother and my daughter. Why? Because you only get one mother at the end of the day, and it is what it is. Who knows? Like I said, it was a curse and a gift at the same time. So like I don't dwell on that no more. But that's why I went the way I went. When all that kicked off with my mother.
Yeah. So I would be hard pressed to say. I have a different perspective. Like I said, when I met her in the 4th grade, Shivani articulated herself is the same way that she does right now today at 33 in the 4th grade. So I'm just keeping it a buck. Like Shivani was already an adult. Like it's crazy. Like she would sit in the class eating pizza, talking to people. She monitored the class to make sure everybody else was doing their work. And you're not going to be talking while Miss Montague is teaching. That's not going to happen. And that's just who she always was. And it's because, like I said, she was already caring for her mother. She was already caring for her family. She had a younger sister and a brother in the school. They were her responsibility because they weren't her mothers. You understand? Because she wasn't in the space to care for them. And so with that being said, I agree with you, Shivani. Your kids shouldn't have been in any place other than in your family. But things are how it is. I'm not the one to judge that. That's not what this is about. But it is about the perspective I saw. Again, we could have did more as a community. As a community, we know that drugs was placed in our community. She may not know. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
We know that a lot of our people went to jail because of laws that was changed even during the Clinton administration, right? Shivani may not know and be able to connect those dots, but we know. So there's a lot that happened before Shivani even touched the ground running. And again, we're talking about a 4th grader who had this type of responsibility on them. So like she just said, another piece real quick, it seemed like what's right is wrong and what's wrong is right.
Right. I noticed she said that, and that's true. I feel like that too. I said that to my friend years ago. I said, I feel like we're living in the Twilight Zone where what they tell us is up is actually down, what's right is wrong. And it's funny because I was listening to a podcast today talking about COVID-19. And they said the whole narrative of you can get a disease from a virus, they were like, there's no evidence of that. So everything we've been taught is a lie. It is so wrong. Like they said,
that's the thing. So that's the thing. Just sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
But that's a perfect example of what she's talking about. She sees herself as the black sheep. She sees herself like something is wrong with her. And I'm going to say it was never nothing wrong with her. It's something wrong with society.
Exactly.
And that's what I realize now. It ain't nothing wrong with me. I ain't crazy. That's them. They just ain't wake up to what's going on yet. That's them.
I love it.
That's just like what that's just like what I told Miss Montague. Like television. If you really look at it, it's called Tell-Lie Vision. TELLIE, Tell-Lie Vision. That's what it is. For real. Because that shit that we see on TV, it's like, really, come on, let's be for real.
Right. And like so you got a young lady. You got a young lady, right?
It's really right. And it is.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't make sense. That's just like that's just like the diaper system. The kids that y'all should, the people that's walking around with their babies outside, that's beating these babies, y'all don't take these babies. But I don't get like I say now, who am I to put a question mark on something God already put a period on? But like certain things I don't get. Like with this diaper system. You know what I learned about the diaper system too? Majority of the supervisors. I'm sorry. I'm not racist. My kids are white. My kids are black. They Native Indian. All that. So a lot of them white folks. That's supervisors. None of them have kids, so you will never know the feeling. So they can never tell me, "Oh, I understand, Miss Robinson, how you feel tonight. Your kids." No, you don't, because you never had a kid to take care of. You never carried something in your stomach for 9 months, so you cannot tell me that. You can't. You tell me you understand how I feel. I'm sorry.
That whole system is set up by design to
destroy families.
Right, it's very corrupt. That's a whole nother subject, but the whole
but isn't that why it's not named DIFUS anymore? Now it's
DCPNP. Yeah,
right.
That's because of some corruption that was exposed and they got sued and lost.
Well, it's all over the country. It's basically Child Protective Services. But then the state of New Jersey had DIFUS. But like you said, the corruption was like so exposed and out of hand. They changed the name, but it doesn't change the function of these agencies. They're all corrupt. And it's basically human trafficking. That's what's really going on.
Wow.
Because they're taking children. It doesn't matter if they're from a good loving family with a functional household. Usually those are the ones that are taken, like your guest said, they're the ones taken out of the household, not the ones who are being obviously abused or malnourished or whatever. And then the other thing I have a problem with Child Protective Services is they'll take the children from their family, right? They'll take the children from their family and put them in a foster care situation or another family, but that family could be very abusive, or that family could be, participating in, I don't know, like sexual abuse or something like that. And they'll leave the child there and they won't reunite the child with their family. So it's like all by design. I can't with Child Protective Services. It's a very wicked system.
Yes, you're absolutely right. And if you look, let's be real, y'all fucking up the kids' minds, literally for real. All right, if you took my first of all, like you just said, I'm gonna piggyback off you though real fast. All right, you'll take my kid from me, right, to put my kid in the foster home because I smoke marijuana, right? But this same resource parent that you put in my kid with do the same thing that they told you I do, which is smoke marijuana. She drink every day. I told her, listen, last month I told the judge, I said, look, because I'm tired of them keep telling y'all I smoke marijuana. But you told me if I had a weed card, it was legal, per the judge.
Okay.
Which I have, which I'm on my way. I go back to court in 2 more months. Trust me, I'm going to have that weed card, and I mean it. I'm going to have that weed card. But that's neither here nor there. But listen, but by them keep telling me that, because my 6-year-old, she's with her dad's side of the family. Now, my 6-year-old, she was touched when she was 2. I never drank a day in my life, okay? I was down state prison, Clinton. They moved me to the Garrett House, which was in Camden, New Jersey. 2007, 2018. I was down state prison from 2017 to 2019. I did 2 years. 2018, I had a dream. This when I realized that intuition God gave me was real. It's just that it was up to me to that part of life. And I was forced to tap into that part of life to realize that what I be seeing before it happened is really what's going to happen. That gut feeling that I get, stop sleeping under the rug, because it's what it is.
Exactly.
So I called my little sister from the halfway house. She could tell you right now, Miss Monty, Sheree, her and Nook, my brother that
I know.
Bus. I called them. I said, Joe, go get Nasiah, because I had a dream that she was being touched. Like I said, I never dreamed. 34 years of my life, I never had a dream ever. I never had a dream on nosebleed. Never, ever. That night I had a dream, and that night I had a nosebleed. When I called my little sister, they told me I was bugging, right? I comes home 2019, gets my babies. My daughter, she 2.5, about to be 3. Her birthday was August 30th. I never forget this. I went to school. You remember Miss Mouse? You don't remember her name Santiago now. She worked for the child sex offenders.
Don't
she's
say too much.
I'm sorry, she's a cop. She's a cop or whatever.
Well, don't say her name.
She work in that department or whatever. Anyway, I went to her and I told her what I felt. I said, as from a mother's intuition, my 3-year-old can caress me like I can caress myself, or caress a man, or caress another woman. You ain't gonna. I said, when I took her to the doctor, I said, I know my daughter wasn't penetrated, but I know she was touched. She was touched and she was showed. I don't care what you tell me, he tell me. I had a falling out with one of my best friends because she told me that DIFUS took my baby to the doctor and they said she wasn't touched. You ain't gonna tell me. My 3-year-old don't know how to fondle herself and do all this stuff just on her own. they're a sponge, and if everybody know that they soak up everything. It may not seem like it. You can ask my daughter. If my daughter at the age of 3, right, when they told me that, oh, she wasn't old enough to tell if that happened to her, I said, look, dude, I said, check this out, Nasaya, what's your sibling's name? Mind you, she was 3. Nasaya, what is all three of your siblings' name? If she told you all 3 of her siblings' name, if she told you where her grandmother lived at, she told you her grandmother's phone number. My 3-year-old, you mean to tell me she can't tell you if she was touched by somebody? You don't make sense.
Right.
Make it make sense, please. So nothing was done, and then with them being taken, and then y'all split them up instantly. That the only piece they have left to me is each other. You lied to me and you told me they was together. If they was together, when I told you to take a picture of them when you got them with whoever this this lady was, why you take a separate picture of my 3-year-old in the picture in the bedroom with clothes, and then you send me another picture with my baby in a bassinet in a whole nother scenery? When I said send me a picture of them together, I knew y'all split them up from the rip because you didn't send a picture together. That don't make sense to me. Like a lot of stuff,
That's
and then
crazy.
y'all don't have. I've been telling them I gotta I gotta find a way to Perth Amboy. Till now, it's been 2 years. Every Tuesday, which was yesterday, and I don't have a car right now, to get me transportation to 319 Maple Street in Perth Amboy, New Jersey. I told them I don't have housing. I just found housing on my own with somebody, a roommate. They still ain't do that. But y'all want me to do these substance abuse programs. Y'all want me to give 8 urines. Y'all want me to be on psych meds. Y'all want me to do this, but y'all ain't doing shit for me at all. The only reason why I'm still fighting and doing it is because I know it's for my babies. If it wasn't for them, I would have been. If I didn't have them, I'm sorry, I probably would have been still living the way I was living. And I mean that shit. Like, but they corrupt for real, like you said. They're weird. How all the supervisors, none of y'all have kids? That don't make sense to me. How y'all diapers workers with no kids?
Have you been able to take advantage of any programs in the city at all?
And I should be. That money that they was giving out for the people who was downstate prison, I ain't never received no application to get it. Like I said, I did 2 years downstate prison, minus the 20 county bids I did at Essex County Jail. You know, they was giving out a lot of grants, stimulus. I ain't getting no stimulus. I ain't getting nothing free from the state that they've been giving out. I don't receive nothing at all, Miss Montague. Like I said, I get it out the mud for real.
Wow. So Shivani, so let me just double back and say, like I said, when she says she's the black sheep, it's not even the black sheep. I just really feel like a lot of people are just simply not.
I'm just the strongest one for real. I'm the strongest one.
No, for real. I'm just saying because I got a different perspective at 50 than you probably got at 33. You understand? So, like I said, like I just feel like a lot of people are just not woke to the world around them.
Right.
She been was. Like she said, I ain't never drink no alcohol. I ain't never did that. It don't make no sense. That's crazy. But you're around people that do. So a lot of people, I know where she was from. I know where she lived. I know where she's from. And a lot of people was not woke, you know, from a conscious standpoint. But she got awakened inherently. And that's why, Shivani, I want you to speak a little bit just on the spiritual warfare. Do you think we're experiencing that? And like, what's been your experience with that?
Well, my experience with the spiritual warfare, like I said, like now Ben is doing woke to the universe. Like not like a lot of people and like they can't differentiate. Like if I like I said, if I see something, like I know now. Put it like this: I know now. Nothing in this world is a coincidence. Nothing. Everything is ran by numbers. Like I know now. Everything happens for a reason. It's just up to you to find out that reason. And I also learned that disappointments are hidden blessed too. I learned that too, and that's a fact. And patience is a virtue. Cause I never had them, boy. I swear to God. You don't know how. Look, today I was sitting in the shower getting my hair done. It's about to look. I'm like, please, can you hurry up? This only took about 30 minutes. Please hurry. But like I said, like I said, I'm learning. I'm still learning a lot with the spiritual part, but it's amazing. The chills go through my body when I'm allowed to talk to somebody that understands what I understand.
See what I tell
And
you.
because
Is around a sleep society.
Everybody don't understand. I'm sorry.
I understand. I've
Everybody
been
don't
understood.
understand. Yeah. Everybody that's up here understand. Well, I know the two people that I see right now, which is Ayo Peterson. I know she understand, and I know you understand.
You know this, and you know
Name
this.
a lot of people. Some people.
She lost Wi-Fi, but I think she did an excellent job. It's
Yeah, she did. She did.
Yeah.
She articulated herself very well.
Very well. And if she wants to, we'll bring her back next week for part 3 if she wants to share more, because she talked about a lot of stuff that she wanted to share, but I think that she got the gist of what she wanted to share out, right? So just a few things just for the listening audience. Like I said, if you haven't shared the live, share it. And the takeaways can be, and Ayo, you can add to this too. The takeaways are like be in tune to your spiritual self. Be in tune to who we are inside. We are greater than what you see when you look in the mirror. That's why when, in a time when so many people are getting, body, breasts, and
enhancements,
enhancement and augmentations or whatever.
Right,
that avatar, that physicality part of you is not who you are, right? You are who you are when you take off your shades and you can talk to people and you can look into the windows of their soul and not feel guilty or not have to look down, or you can be at peace with who you are and what you stand on, So that's the takeaway. And like I said, this young lady was thrust at an early age. In the 4th grade. What are you, like 9?
Exactly. And it was interesting to me because I was listening to her and she was taking responsibility for it, for, something that she had no control over. And she was like, I chose to get into a gang. And I'm like, no, you didn't.
And she just wasn't just in the gang. She said she was the first lady.
So, right. No, I got that. But I'm saying
for the record. We
She did say that. She did clarify.
So again,
like, you didn't just wake up one day and was like, I'm going to be in a gang today. You know what I'm saying? I was like, something had to make you make that decision.
But even on a higher level, you're reaching the epitome of what you have at your reach, right? Locally,
right.
To seize power.
Exactly. She's a leader, definitely, because even when you were talking about, or when she was talking about, when she was in school, she had to take care of her younger siblings. She was always like calming the class down. So she has leadership skills.
Definitely.
That's a given. And being that she has leadership skills, it's like she parlayed that when she was in the gang as well. So she can parlay that in any aspect of her life. The goal is to have access to things that will be beneficial for her to parlay her leadership skills.
And so that's the part that she probably couldn't verbalize that we can at our age and given our time. Like, it's so much that you take somewhere like Tulsa, Oklahoma, like that level an entire city, right? And what that took from us from a financial standpoint, right? All of those businesses and everything. So we're virtually here, never got our 50 acres and a mule. So we didn't have, what it takes to gain the access that was needed for that generation of young person to be successful. And then when she has kids and the generation before her, drugs hit the community hard and heavy, right?
That was our generation. We're the generation before her.
Absolutely. So we've seen that when people are like, oh, get over slavery. What?
Right. Well, it's not even a thing of that. What I try to let people know is our oppression has been consistent and continuous. So in our generation and in her generation, we have been oppressed, we have been discriminated against, and we have suffered from racism. It's a different form of oppression. It's a different form of discrimination, and it's a different form of racism than our ancestors or elders felt. But we have suffered through that because of who we are and because our relationship to the land that we're in.
Right.
That
Even
is necessary. I'm sorry, what were you about to say?
No, facts. No, you're right on point. Like, even if you look at diapers, right? A
Mm-hmm.
lot of kids are taken from the parents because allegedly the parents can't take care of the kids or they don't have the financial means, right? But what I never understood is how does diapers step in and it doesn't give the parent help assistance to take care of the kids, but they take the kids, give it to somebody else, and then they give them money for the kids, and they make sure they have transportation if necessary. They make sure they have food, Pampers if it's a baby. They make sure that family has everything they need to make sure those kids are provided for. But when the kids even go back to the parent, all of those resources they cut off. So I don't understand that aspect of it, because the best thing that you could give a child, if allegedly you really care, right, is their damn mother, empowered and supported.
It's a thing of it goes back to what we talked about a couple of episodes ago about the whole birth certificate. When you get a birth certificate and a social security card, you're basically giving the government license to dictate to you how you're going to raise the child.
Right.
And before, like I said, with who we are and our relationship to the land, to this country, they're doing that to us, and they're giving others money, outsiders or immigrants or foreigners money, because this whole game is about us remaining asleep and being destroyed, whether we destroy ourselves or whether we allow others to destroy us. It's about destruction and remaining asleep.
Right, and that sounds like a new show.
The minute we wake up, the minute we educate ourselves, the game is over with.
Right. And so that's why there's so many efforts being made to make sure that that level of education does not get out. For example, I think I saw something on TikTok today that they were talking about how they're about to implement this censorship rules that they are implementing already on Facebook as well as Instagram.
Right.
So it's okay if I'm posting ignorance all day, every day. Nothing ever happens. But if you're posting things to empower people, to help us learn,
then it's a problem.
And we have to change the lens as a country on how we're looking at things, because if it's not working, it's something that, I don't care what it is, it's something that needs to be revisited. If it can be done better, again, let's give it a try. Let's work together, right? Let's always wage love, not war. And it doesn't matter if war was waged in the past. As we move forward, these are things that we can consider. Just getting back to the topic of the show tonight, before I start to close out, we just want to make sure that our kids are getting opportunities and access to opportunities. We want to make sure that the politicians that we vote for are people who are kid advocates who support the children, right, in those efforts. Even if the parents don't, it doesn't matter what a parent is doing at home. If that kid comes to school every day, that kid should be privy to the best education that they could get. And that education is not done by kids who just went to college a year before. You understand what I'm saying? Because that's something else that some of the stuff is just not pragmatic or commonsensical at all. So with that being said, guys, listen, just thank you for joining us this evening. I hope you loved our guest. If we can, we want to bring her back again.
Yes.
Like I said, Shivani is my heart, but I have a lot of hearts in this city. I've been teaching for over 20 years. Crazy. And like I said, a lot of these people in our community, that's the only thing I could see, that we have to give them a face. We have to give them a name, a face. We have to give them an identity. And if I need to use my platform to do so, I'll do it, because we can't keep having, oh, this one went to jail, or this one got killed.
Right.
Investigation and that's it. No, we're so much more than that. We are so much greater than that. We really are. And we have to recondition a lot of the minds, because that's what it said in my flyer also, because some people don't know. And if you don't know, you better ask somebody. And that's what Shelavante and Ayo Peterson is here to host WA.G.E to help me the answers to those questions. Listen, thank you guys for joining. Ayo, if you want to close out.
There's a couple of things I want to say. One was regarding what you just said about the having like a platform for people, like to have a voice. Like, to me, the show was very important because your guest could speak for herself, and she's not a two-dimensional picture in the paper anymore. She could tell her side of the story. So now we have context and we have a better understanding how she got in this position. And then we can do things to make sure that other people don't fall in that position. Because as far as I'm concerned, she was in that position due to no fault of her own. She was a victim of the circumstances that she was in and of her environment. That's number one. Another thing I want to touch on was the whole thing about, knowing who you are and educating yourself, because as far as I'm concerned, the education system that we have is garbage and we shouldn't waste our time with it too much. But what is happening, whether we want it to happen or not, is we are waking up. And it's an internal thing. That's why Gil Scott-Heron said a long time ago that the revolution will not be televised, because the revolution is a revolution of the mind, and it's of, the awakening that's going on. That's the real revolution. So whether the powers that should not be want to hold us down and keep us ignorant, it doesn't matter, because we are going to wake up and we are going to, get the truth, and we are going to become better people, regardless of what, somebody else wants for us. And that's it.
Somebody wrote, what, I don't know what happened tonight, but I just want to make a public announcement. I see people saying make it shareable. Everything I put up is shareable, so I don't know why it wouldn't be, but I'll make it shareable when I go back to the actual page. I don't know what happened with that. But see, that's what I'm talking about. Now, if I was doing some ignorant stuff, it would have been shareable.
Yeah, that's Facebook. That's not you.
Things continue to happen, and I just can't understand how that could possibly be coincidental. I love some of the comments, and I'm sharing them, as we continue on with everybody. Okay, there was a great segment done on the connection between DYFS and human trafficking. Wow. Fee, if you can, share that with us. Fantastic. Fee is on it. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, I get the dreams too. Whoa, that warn me before things happen. Woo, honey, we have some spiritually inclined women that's a part of W.A.G.E, okay? You better understand who we are.
That's in you. That is in you.
Yeah.
Just listen to it. Don't reject it. Listen to it. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's for sure. So I'm just, like I said, just sharing a few things. I love all the people who believe in God. We got to understand it's definitely a higher power. And know that as we move forward. I'm just trying to run through some of these comments, guys. I'm sorry I didn't look at them earlier, but we were so intrigued by the guest, and like I said, we're going to probably bring her back again because she made mentions to some things that I was kind of puzzled about, but we're going to leave that right there for now. Yes, this life is hard, it's not easy. Yes, racism, oppression is real. Yeah, even when she said that she felt that stench of depression for the first time when they took her kids. Nobody should be in a position where they're taking their kids. You should have
not in 2022.
Interventions. Yeah, you should have interventions that that can be helpful to young mothers. Like, why would you do that? And then when they come home, and that's another thing that W.A.G.E does too. We have a lot of returning citizens that are coming home as women, right? Because the men have a group that's doing very well as far as I know, but the women don't. So some of the women come home and they try to go there, but then it's kind of like shunned. And so that's something that we're trying to get together. We've sent multiple emails to the mayor, to try to get a meeting with him, because we know that there's like literally millions of dollars that have come into the city to help with just those types of efforts. And we're really hopeful that he's going to get on board and put the city first in terms of, just really moving the city forward, as he often mentions. We have so many immigrants coming through here. Yes, we must make up the fight and fight the power. Yeah, for real. Yeah. So, we want to balance. I'm not anti-immigrant. I want to say that because that comes up a lot. But we have to be pro everybody, and Newark comes first. When it comes to making sure everything is done the right way, Native Newarkers should come first. That's how it's supposed to be, and everybody else comes next. Because there's order within everything. W.A.G.E love, it still takes a real village, a real powerful village to join forces for the betterment of our youth and young adults. Absolutely. I agree. We all have stories to tell, and we need to help each other. I can't see who wrote some of these comments, but if you have a story, inbox me. We have a platform, and we're changing lives. We're waging love. So let's hear your story. So we have somebody says facts. I'm gonna keep on with these until we're done. I love you, Miss Montague. It's me, Shivani. Shivani, I love you more, baby. I love you like red velvet cake. She's always been that Shivani since the 4th grade, for sure. I would have known before you. What is that? I'm not sure what DBT. I'm kind of
either. Exactly.
Like the duds inside your house unless police is with them. So don't open the door if duds come without police. Okay, that's what's up. Okay. Yes. And the last comment I'm going to put up is just put all Newark first. Absolutely. We have to put Newark first in everything that we do. We have to continue this process of healing and just getting us back to where we need to be because that's going to happen. We're going to be back to where we need to be. We're going to be stronger and we're going to build each other and we're going to continue to wage love. Thank you for joining us this evening and until next Wednesday. Peace. I thought that was a fantastic show. I'm just trying to close out properly, guys. Thank you for holding on. I think here we go. I think we're on to something now. Let's see.
A 14-year-old boy with a record of drug arrests was shot and killed. It was the 10th fatal shooting or stabbing in Newark in 10 days.
Another deadly shooting investigation is underway tonight in Newark. This comes after a wave of violence.
First, let me introduce y'all to the mayor, and I'm saying mayor because that's what it is. Some call me Sheila or Silver Bullet, just know I'm all about handling biz. First, we're gonna start by saving the kids, making the city a safe place to live. Unlike some people, that's all about self. My only mission right now is to give, and now it's feeling like Resident Evil with all of these fake political leaders. They need to go sit in the bleachers and just stay motivational speakers. Being the mayor is not for the weak. Got my feet on the ground and I'm out in these streets. You can show me with action, it's not what you speak. Say you for the city ain't beat. Lit the city on fire, we're walking through ashes. Parents are tired of giving you passes. Why are our children not learning in classes? Teach about businesses, real estate taxes. Fighting to keep low income housing. So much corruption, it's astounding. Team Newark, we can't allow that. And there ain't no way to get around that. Nothing but change when you vote for me. Time to get back where we supposed to be. Open the door, open the door.